We've actually looked at 16 different archetypes of yours over a 2-year period, and we're now going to look at another 12 types of yours over the coming year. Could you tell us a little bit about those types?
Well, in the ones that we looked at so far, we looked at Earth, Air, Fire, and Water, Jupiter, Saturn, Apollo, Mercury. This gives us 16 different combinations. I just mentioned a couple of them. And again, this allows me to, if I can find one or more of these archetypes in the hand, it allows me to be exorbitantly exact and specific with my advice. Again, especially for career direction. If, by the way, I can find a dominant zone of one of the 12 zones of the fingers, again, I can get even so tight. But we didn't use fingertip types so far, like a square tip on a dominant Jupiter finger, which is the Patriarch. That's an excellent archetype for hand readers to know. It doesn't show up, well, it shows up plenty of times, but the people who come in for readings tend not to be the patriarchal type. Patriarchal types like to be in authority, and there's nobody else in authority except them. They follow established rules. Everybody else has to follow these rules or they're not okay. Boom, boom, boom. I said so. I have spoken. You will follow my dictates. This is very difficult to be around. They can be more positive, beneficent, protective types. Think of some of the religious leaders of old and how dictatorial they are, but benign, at least from certain perspectives. By the same token, they can be absolutely impossible, and normal human flaws work their way in. So what we're going to be looking at over the next year are archetypes that combine fingertip type. We looked at a hand the other day, you and me, where the Druid's cap came into play and was a central figure, a central archetype, the central archetype, as I recall, in the hand in question. We'll also be taking moon-based, Venus-based, and Mars-based archetype. I was reading recently for somebody with an air hand with a very large Mars. My name for this person is the Advocate. Mars likes to fight, air likes to think. So we have fighting for ideas. And the Advocate, as a matter of fact, in this reading for this woman, I'm taking myself back into the location. I'm seeing the woman in front of me. I'm seeing the room I'm in. And I talked about 6 separate ways that she can be an advocate. And she was already doing advocacy, but you know my expression, like the water cooler psychiatrist. She was doing advocacy during her coffee breaks. She was doing advocacy on the weekends. And I was suggesting doing advocacy as a career path. And she was stuck in her career. I mean, she was making money, she was paying the rent, but she was stuck. And when I described the Advocate, she says, "Oh yes, I'm the Advocate. I love being the Advocate." Boom, 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 boom. I could just see her whole demeanor just puff up, her eyes light up. The Advocate, yes, that's me, of course. I am the Advocate. But I couldn't do an advocate as a career, certainly not. I'm a computer programmer or something, whatever she told me. But we started to look at her hand for more clues. We started to consider different advocacy possibilities. She told me more about her life. I told her more about what was in her hands. And we were able to brainstorm very nicely about possibilities for herself. I don't know that there was any way, maybe some accident of circumstance, maybe her uncle getting in trouble, either medical problems, legal problems, and then maybe some accident of circumstance allows the Advocate to completely emerge. But wouldn't it be nice to have a map to this? Wouldn't it be nice to be consciously deciding things like this, be attempting to brainstorm, to be talking to friends and experts for advice, having this archetype be named for you. And just the very fact that she has a name for this complex of different ideas and impulses and reactions that she's very familiar with, and she can paint the advocate. She can talk to her inner advocate. She can meditate on the advocate. The fact that she has a name for this makes this part of her so much more accessible and so much more likely that she'll get in costume and then get to the life purpose gate, and the gate will open before her. Remember, her life purpose is not to be the advocate, but she needs to be an advocate to open the gate to do her life purpose. Maybe her life purpose is the woman with a message. I don't recall her life purpose. Maybe her life purpose was to be a mentor. Maybe this, maybe that. But she's not getting to her life purpose until she gets in costume as the advocate.